Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today it's absolutely a gorgeous spring day like it has been all week, so I've really been enjoying that. Laura and I have been going on walks, just checking out the yard. We've got the star magnolias starting to bloom, those star-like beautiful white flowers. We got the garden area, the bunny farms, all tilled up for fruits and veggies. Got the grass clippings from last year that were just completely laden with some beautiful earthworms, which is great for aerating and fertilizing the soil, and some lighter soil mix as well, just to turn it up, because last year's soil was just too dense and it had too much cow manure. So I believe after a nice wintering off, the manure should be just perfect. We lightened up the soil, and then adding the earthworms, I'm really psyched. So we planted some blackberry bushes in one of the gardens. So there's blackberry bushes and strawberries along the border. And then we're going to do one. Our garlic's already popping up with additionally peppers and tomatoes. And then the third of the veggie gardens is going to be some butternut squash, spaghetti squash, and pumpkins. So we're really keeping it simple. Last year we did not have much success because I didn't protect it well enough and the bunnies ate it. Hence, bunny farms. So also been moving a lot of mulch onto the tree farm, washing up the Jeep, just, you know, all the stuff you do in spring. We reorganized like our disorganized chaos, where we save all the nursery pots and things like that. So we've stacked them all neatly, cleaned up that area. It's been a lot of fun. But we are still about a week and a half, 2 weeks off from when I could bring my maples and all my other trees, crepe myrtles, black locusts, a bunch of different birch trees, redwoods, sequoias, bring them all outside for the year for this late spring, summer season, and early fall. That's when they'll stay outside. So in the meantime, I was washing dishes this morning at the kitchen sink, and I have a hanging plant right there that has 2 figs that I've grown from cuttings, and 1 citrus tree that I have no idea what type of citrus it is. It's growing up nice and healthy. They're growing a little tall for the pot they're in, but I really like to do that. I like to keep some pots around the house that just have soil in them. So when I'm having some fruit and it's a unique piece of fruit, I'll throw the seed in there. Or if I do a pruning on another planting, like a fig or something easy to root like that from a cutting, then I just stick it right in there. And before you know it, you have a really cool planting. So really short story long, catching you up on what I've been doing. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to prune up the one with 2 figs and a citrus tree as a hanging plant right in the window above the kitchen sink. And we're going to take a look at my other unique plantings where you really wouldn't expect to find these trees and plants together. And I'll discuss where I'm taking them, because, you know, not everything just has to be a single tree in a bonsai pot pruned like a bonsai. I like to combine plants and trees and other trees, you know. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, y'all. So you see this planting that I'm talking about. This resides in a hanging basket just above the sink. And we've got our boom fig, and our citrus. And the citrus is tall and shiny and strong for a single trunk. It doesn't have any branching yet. So I actually haven't even decided if I'm going to prune that one today or if I'm going to leave the citrus tall and just kind of get these figs in order, because the figs, their leaves just keep growing and growing, and then they'll shade everything else out. So I'm confident in the strength of the fig to come back, but since this is such a small, slender trunked little citrus, it might be a grapefruit or like a blood orange. That seems like something I would stick the seeds in soil for. Yeah, since it's just tall and slender, I might just let it grow, and then maybe late summer prune this one, see if it branches naturally, because I have not had very good luck with citrus trees. So yeah, let's take a look at the other fig plantings and unique plantings that I have inside the ranch. Okay, now right now I currently have a bunch of different trees, alcovas and maples and things like that in the window, but they're really just being staged to be going outside for the season. That's why there are just so many plants there. I mean, I even have Christmas poinsettias still here. This is the hydrangea. You know, all these are going to be going outside. River birch planting, forest planting. You see it's grown crazy already since bringing it up from the basement. Anyways, back to my point. So this will actually get to spread out and you'll get to really view it. So I have an accompanying plant here, which this is a silver-laced wandering Jew. And I really like, it almost has like a shiny iridescent leaf there. And it has the purples and the light greens and the dark greens. Really love it. And it just crawls and cascades. So I have that in a pot right in front of one of my monster plantings. So this is a Dillonyx regia, the flame tree. Many of you may have grown this from the Planter's Choice grow kit. Well, this is a successful cutting. So my tree had grown, just my initial Dillonyx had grown so amazingly vigorous and muscularly that I felt like this branch shouldn't have gone to waste. So put it in this really, really light soil with lots of perlite, and it did root, and it's finally budding out beautifully, going crazy out to the right. And then in the back, these are a bunch of different bamboos, and the bamboo were part of like little nursery decorative pottings that a client brought me, and they wanted me to prune it up for them. So these are the cuttings. Those are growing nicely. There's even one coming out front. And then off to the left, it's a really big Italian fig. And you see how big these leaves get. That's what I was talking about. So they're like really cramping the style of those other trees over there, reaching for the sun. So I might just defoliate that this weekend. But I'm not going to cut it back because I want this pot to be glorious and chaotic and just like a monster tropical planting. And then there's a little zigzag cactus back here, and there's some more little cacti back there. So that's a unique, cool planting that I really like. Over here, I've got this avocado from seed towering over a whole group. I think there's 10, maybe 9 or 10 of these Dillonyx regias, and those are all from seed. They were dormant for so long, the seeds. They ended up in this one pot with the avocado all together, and it really worked out. I was really pleased with that. There's Laura. She's making some old school southern lunch with some pulled pork, corn on the cob, and some collard greens. So I am really excited about that. Okay. Now over here. So Laura got me this little bonsai stand, and it has a few shelves. It's really not that sturdy, you know, it's very thin wood, but what it's turned into is just like a tropical jungle. It's got zigzag cacti and spider plants, nice little succulent planting of 3 up top, little succulents, and this cactus grew huge. I mean, it wraps around. There's some of it over here, all growing out of that little owl head. It's amazing. I got it from a client, and I changed it out with a jade plant for them because it was a little group planting, 3 different pots. And I gave them a nice healthy jade plant, and they were like, oh, great. And this was just this little nub. And out of nowhere, it sprouted a little bit. And so I've just grown it and grown it and grown it. And 3 years later, it's part of this monster masterpiece. All right. Moving right along. I showed this the other day. This is my avocado above a black locust, both with weeping canopies. And here, this is one in early development. So I have some pencil cactus that I rooted in water. There were cuttings, rooted them in water and planted them in here. I have some spider plants off the back. And then down the middle, alternating, I have bamboo and little jade cuttings. So right now it looks a mess, but once I see that it's all established and rooted and everything's doing well, I'm going to pick like certain heights. Like I want these to be crawling out the front, and I want these to be crawling out the back. And I would really like to see established taller bamboo, you know, kind of hanging over tree-like forms of the jade plant, like nice little trees. So like really tall palm trees, and then your shorter palm trees that you see on tropical islands. So that's kind of my thought process with those. Right here, I have 3 blue jacaranda, and they're all from seed, growing nicely in this rectangular terracotta pot. And then I have this flowering, weeping plant accompanying it, almost acting like they're shrubs. And you know, if you've been to like a tropical island down in the Caribbean or whatever, you see the palm trees, and then below there's always these like really cool bushes and vines and you know, different things along the tree line as you walk down the beach, you know, that kind of wild, not just talking like on the resort. So yeah, so you know, if you're just getting into bonsai or just getting into growing things in general, I would have pots ready with soil so you could throw your cuttings into them, throw seeds into them, and I wouldn't worry about just doing one plant or species of tree per pot. Why not mix it up a little bit, do a little collage? Not everything grows well together, but that's part of the fun. It's experimenting and see what works. So anyways, I hope you're enjoying and enjoyed seeing those unique plantings. Now let's do a very simple pruning, defoliation type of deal on that hanging plant for over the sink. All right, so this is just a basic nursery pot. It doesn't have a terrible color, almost a terracotta. And then this is its drip tray, because obviously a hanging plant indoors, you're gonna need that drip tray. So this fig actually has a nice shape to it. It's got a cool trunk, secondary trunk coming out, and then it splits and divides a couple of times. This one over here must not be in the sunny part of the window because, you know, it's just pretty basic. Straight up, little branch, and then the apex. And then we discussed this citrus tree. So there's a leaf interfering with the citrus. I'm pretty much just going to take all the leaves off of these figs and bring them back down to their woody part. Like this is all new growth here, but it didn't divide or anything like that. So it really, I have no, that doesn't appeal to me. So I'll leave one set of leaves worth of new growth because, you know, it's easier for it to back bud on the green part of the branches and trunks than it is on the old wood. Plus I leave a little bit of room for dieback because you don't know when a tree is going to be high maintenance and die back to where you don't want it to. Right. Low maintenance. Every once in a while I dump some coffee grounds in there. Water it, you know. It's easy to water because that's where I fill the watering can when I'm watering all my trees. So I just drop a little bit in there once a week and boom. When would you ever see Italian fig? And well, actually Italian figs and citrus very popular in Italy, so I guess you would see these together. So from seed and from cuttings. Anyways, leave your comments, questions below. I hope y'all are enjoying spring as much as I am. I just love seeing everything bloom and leaf out in the natural world with all the full-grown trees, and then seeing your own trees do it. It's like so rewarding coming out of a winter season when they went dormant, and it's like, oh my gosh, did I kill my trees? And then you find out you did what was best for them. So hopefully you had some success and you're enjoying your bonsai days, y'all. Laura and I are going to go walk a trail a little later this afternoon, and I wish you and your family the best. Cheers.